This month marks the 25th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Even with the discourse around the saga at the time and since, it definitely proved what's going on lately isn't my first rodeo. While most people might spend today talking about the movie, I thought I would do something a bit different and talk about one of the video games tied into its release. Here is why the PlayStation version of Star Wars The Phantom Menace is a surprisingly ambitious tie-in game. Published by LucasArts and developed by Big 8 Productions, the game released on PC one day before the movie did, and on PS1 that September. While getting somewhat mixed reviews at the time, the game has developed something of its own following over time. Let's dig into it and find out why. The first stage is the Trade Federation ship where you play out the attendant Jedi's lives. Though the escape has a few more twists not present in the film, most say it's a pretty high concept game for a licensed tie-in. It's a technical marvel in the year that also saw the Dreamcast release and a year removed from the release of PlayStation 2. Second stage is swamps in Naboo. Something of a reverse escort mission we had to follow Jar Jar Binks through a swamp maze to reunite with Qui-Gon Jinn. Here I'll mention the traversal and platforming revolve around tank controls. Left and right rotate your character, down is step back, up is go forward. If you play the console installments of Resident Evil and Tomb Raider, you should know what to expect. In the latter case, the game also has a lot of switches, throne, crates moved, and secrets to be found. Obi-Wan Kenobi in this game is basically a spear version of Lara Croft. Stage 3 is the Gungan capital city of Otoh-Gunga. Must once again compliment how much detail from the movie is incorporated here. The objective is to clear Jar Jar's name and to get transport through the planet core to Theed. While it is tempting to engage the Gungans given the contents on the fanbase, I decided to do this level in a pacifist run. Mind tricks, puzzles, and non-lethal force pushes are what got me through it. Stage 4 is the royal capital of Theed City. Through a series of mazes and roadblocks, the objective is to find Queen Amidala and get her to the center of Coruscant. There's also where the dialogue trees in the game become truly vital. While they were in previous stages, here there's something of a precursor to choices in not just Saga's own Knights of the Republic games, but also Mass Effect and Dragon Age as well. Certain choices are even only unlocked through selecting others, like the mind trick I mentioned in the previous stage. Upon clearing this section, you must escape from Naboo, but since the ship is damaged in the process, Nubian royal cruisers have shields but not weapons. This is canon. They need to repair and replace the hyperdrive generator. Landing on the outskirts of Mos Espa, we begin stage 5. This time we take control of Qui-Gon Jinn, though given limitations of PlayStation, I'm not sure whether the handmaiden is Natalie Portman or Keira Knightley brought in who she was. Before we find Watto, you'll encounter some foul-tempered Tusken Raiders. Moving right along, you sheathe your lightsaber as vendors are hawking dewback stew. One of it was made from the Extra 1 special editions. You alternate between gathering information from other vendors and looting traders who have a death sentence on 5 systems. When you get to 12, call me. Word of advice: don't engage or even talk to the Jawas in this marketplace, it will quickly escalate to rocket launchers. Fortunately, the codes still work on the PlayStation Network version of the game. I know it's not ideal, but think of it as a form of accessibility. The level select infinite lives code was likely used by the actual debug and quality assurance team on this game in 1999. That disclaimer out of the way, let's continue. In order to replace the generator, you need to get it from Watto, and since it doesn't take Republic currency, you need Anakin's help as well. It takes a lot of bluffing and mind tricks, but we do find our way to Shmi and to Anakin. Let's go through dialogue trees with the boy. I do wish this actor the best health this difficult time. Anyway, after another maze sequence / reverse escort mission, we meet up with Watto. Slime tricks don't work on him. We need to barter. In the movie, we win by betting on the pod race. That game is matter for another day. To get the generator and free Anakin. Here, it takes a lot of bartering to get the T-14 we need, including playing Watto's game. After that, it's time for the encounter in the desert with Darth Maul. The ambush with the pro-droid is also an element from the deleted scenes and the tie-in novels. There's also another reverse escort mission to get back to the ship, which technically follows the movie, in a way. We even clear the level of boarding the ship, and it's off to Coruscant. Reaching Coruscant, a scenario unique to this game, we'll control Panaka, getting the Queen of the Senate as others try to ambush her. From there, it takes lots of bartering, shooting at cannon droids, and icing bounty hunters to get back to Palpatine. Though the previous Chancellor Valorum, who is not voiced by Terrence Stamp in this game, is ousted for lack of action, the Queen ultimately decides to take matters in her own hands. Anakin's abilities are indeed praised by Jedi Council, but he cannot be trained yet. The Queen and her allies are able to convince the Gungans to fight, and all this is explained by a text scroll the saga is known for. The lore is still a bit heady, but if you can read at a grade school level, you'll be fine. Much like the movie, it's simple enough for a child to follow, yet complicated enough we're still debating its quality 25 years later. Time the assault on Theed. The objective is to capture the Viceroy Newt Gunray alive. This game also explains why only one droid control ship is in the finale, so the other Lucahole-class Trade Federation ships were recalled away. That actually makes sense, it just shows one ship as opposed to the whole blockade or kid from Tatooine. We enter the hangar, and as the Queen slips in the Royal Guard, and the Gungans draw their fire within the city, it's time for the duel of face with Darth Maul. After all these years, but with that Sun lightsaber duel, it backs our fire. Elsewhere, the Queen's default weapon really packs a punch. This last section alternates between the Queen and Panaka fighting the droids, between the Jedi fighting Maul. Of course I expected to like the lightsaber duel, and I do. The way I actually have to time your defense and attacks is almost like a FromSoft title. It's the blaster fights on Theed that surprised me in terms of enjoyment. Seriously, I actually had Panaka take cover for a moment to sweep the droids out from the palace archways. As we get closer to the throne room, Panaka helps take out one of the generators with ray shields on it. Reuniting with a small strike force, we take it to the window, to the wall, and get low. Sorry, I couldn't resist. The duel with Maul continues in the beam hallways, and after taking an elevator back up from a broken bridge, we have to fall just the right way so you don't die. It's fittingly timed with the final battle. Even with the cheats, it took me a while to get this far. Case in point. You alternate between freeing prisoners to get keys to the throne room and pursuing Maul through the hangar's interior. Once again, major kudos to how faithfully our team rendered everything. We even get a version of the scene where they grapple up to a higher window, confront and capture the Viceroy in a pretty hilarious sequence. It's actually possible to blow up the droids in one shot with the thermal detonators. He actually breaks accent to say I surrender. Next, Maul takes out Qui-Gon in hilarious fashion, and Obi-Wan faces him. Maul also has red force lightning, and you take him out with just your beginning skills and blade. So he earned promotion Jedi Knight. Qui-Gon promotes him on the promise he trained Anakin, implying this was his first of the trials. The game closed and the cutscene is actually pretty solid for the time. Much like the movie it was based on, this game presents an interesting crossroads of the past and future Star Wars saga in ways than one. With the success of the recent Jedi titles from Respawn and third game developers' writing, and upcoming titles from other developers having potential. I haven't been able to find exact sales data compared to the Racer game in 64, there'll be on the time for that, but I understand it must have sold alright given the success of the movie and the state of the market at the time. While critical reception was mixed, it did actually skew a bit higher than the movie did. Audiences and fans, however, have found an appreciation for it. It's an interesting case study in the saga's pop culture history alongside the film it's based on. It may not be my favorite Star Wars game, but even I admire for its ambitious and technical wizardry. It's also not the only game tie-in I'll be talking about this year that had that journey either. See you all again soon. May the Force be with you all.